Welcome guys, it's Evelyn from Twin Flames 3344. I have a union read for you today and a Divine Masculine read, Twin Flame. I'm doing the union read first. That's in front of you. Sorry if it's a little bit shaky. It's on my iPhone stand, and I should be able to change that soon. Anyway, change the shakiness. I want to get right into this read. It's April 25th, 2020. I'll just give you a little clearing first. Take a deep breath, you guys. Deep breath and hold it. And when you're ready, you can let it out very slowly. And you can take another deep breath as well. Today is April 25th, 2020. The 25 is the Knight of Wands, and the day adds up to 33-6, which is the Christ vibration, but it's also the 7 of Wands, standing up for yourself without being defensive. And that is a 6, which is love, family, community. The 25 is a 7, which is about going within, quiet time, reflection, thinking, all of those within energies. Very spiritual, connecting with yourself. Of course, meditating is always a good thing. And so we have the Knight of Wands and the 7 of Wands. So being passionate in your movement. So perhaps running around doing some errands today, or exercising, or just being passionate about something you're passionate about. But physical movement here, as well as the 7 of Wands, standing up for yourself, not letting other people tell you what to do. Being free in your movement, free flowing. So before I get started, I went into my inner child just now, and it was so cute. I haven't done it in a bit. And I was a little girl, and I was thinking first, I wasn't sure if my little girl was in a bad mood or not, because I'm okay. And when I did get her, she wasn't in a bad mood. She was just tired. She just wanted to be by herself, but she wasn't mad at me or anything. She just was sitting there, and when I asked her about it, she said, I'm fine, I'm just tired. But she was a little girl. So she was about 3 or 4 years old. And I said, so where's the Divine Masculine? And she gets up, she's tired, but she gets up anyway, and she walks onto the right side, because she was leaning on the middle wall, which is between the masculine and the feminine. She wasn't over on the left side, she's sitting right on the middle. And she got up, and she went over onto the masculine side. And as I see her, she puts her hand out to get him up, to show me. And it's like a giant standing up over her. And he doesn't fit in there anymore because he was his full adult size. And it was like the adult, like in a kid's playhouse, like not able to stand fully up. And then he's coming up to my lens, and he's making faces at the lens, like making fun of me because he's a grown up, like he is today. So it was pretty funny, actually. Very cute. So she's tired because she's a little girl and tired because she just needs some time alone to be by herself because she's been putting out a lot of energy. And the masculine was all grown up. So that was a beautiful message. The union energy here was it's 10:07 that the union read was done this morning. Just wanted to see if there's anything from yesterday I wanted to tell you. No. I watched the movie last night, God is Dead. I know I've watched it before, but I did watch it again. So that theme may be a theme that's coming up for review. And getting into the union, we start here. For those of you who aren't familiar with my setup, it's the underlying energy here. This is the closing card, the summary. We have the feminine energy coming in, we have the masculine energy going out, and then the 3 chords across in the middle here is the 3D, 4D, 5D. The feminine's on the left, the masculine's on the right, and then the bridge between is in the middle. I don't know if my thing is good. All right, yeah. All right, so the underlying energy is the 10 of Swords, and the center energy is the Queen of Cups, which is a very loving, nurturing, intuitive energy. All about, their emotions, in control of their emotions, but very loving at the same time. So the 10 of Swords is all about ending pain or a painful ending. It can be getting treatments, back treatments, spa treatments, anything like that as well. But but the end of pain for the Queen of Cups, being her loving, nurturing, intuitive self. So getting back to who you truly are in your loving nature, which is very nice. And she's also amidst a very lush environment, like Hawaii or something like that. So the very Lemurian energy for the feminine there. The underlying divine feminine is the Nine of Pentacles, the Strength card, and the Five of Swords coming in, as we see over here. Nine of Pentacles, Strength card, and the Five of Swords in the SIRIAN STARSEED deck, which is this. So the Sovereign is pure and strong, with white light coming in, transforming through the red, orange, yellow ring of fire to the top of Evergreen, Mount Everest, her stone heart peak, cleared of swords. There's no swords in it. Evergreen, and then it goes into some lyrics from my song, Christo Sophia, which isn't out there yet, but I have posted it before. But the lyrics were coming up. The ring of fire, the Sovereign, pure and strong, transforming through the ring of fire to the top of Evergreen and never seen, her heart expanding as he returns her love. And worlds were built, and skies and doves, and shame and guilt, and peace and love, and everything that a beautiful world should be. Her portal of love created heavens above. Sophia, I exist from you. Sophia, from your rays of blue. Sophia, it was always you. I'm just the sky, which also parallels to this guy. I'm just the sky that mirrors yours to your sea, hoping that your love will reflect back to me. And by the way, they got it wrong about the song, because I'm the minor key and you are the sun in me. And I'm getting connection now too. So those are lyrics from my song, but they were coming up to be stated there. The 3D is the Six of Cups, Emperor, and the Four of Cups. The Divine Feminine here is the key holder. All right, so we have the Six of Cups, the Emperor, and the Four of Cups. So the Divine Feminine is coming up here as the key holder of their love. The Divine Masculine, an island unto himself. And she sits upon his throne. He is actually the island there. She sits upon his throne looking up when he's down, both afraid to cross turbulent waters for that fourth cup of grounding union. He supports the Divine Feminine +3, but unable to support himself out to sea, bridged by the Emperor relinquishing his false hand, false reasoning, a hand that was created by someone else, or someone going into creating false limbs, bionic body parts, or robotics perhaps. Now going out on a limb, perhaps right hand burning and can no longer do the same work, or doing metal or iron work in a kiln, or Santa Claus, old Saint Nick, getting into his hobbies and retiring from gift giving that no one appreciates, letting his hair grow for real, not just at Christmas, or a female younger than the Divine Masculine sitting on him so he can't move, while her father or father-in-law or grandfather has been supporting her cause, relinquishes that position, and she must learn to survive on her own. The 4D here is transition, the Queen of Cups, and the Two of Swords. So the Divine Feminine transitions at the new moon through the portal, sleeping a lot perhaps, and or meditation. The Divine Masculine floating on air, by the water, or on the jetties, or that female holding him down, pretending not to know, perhaps a long dark-haired beauty who doesn't know her worth, now saves herself, coming back in from the end of the jetties at 10:42, which is the Wheel of Fortune and the Two of Cups, connecting with herself, loving herself first. Perhaps a girl who was out at the beach on the jetties all night. Maybe she was thinking about jumping in the ocean, but perhaps at the end of the jetties all night, but coming back in at sunrise in her knowing. The 5D is the King of the King of Wands, the Seven of Swords, and the Six of Wands up top here, the top row. The Divine Feminine is the King of Wands shaman, and that 70s show, meeting her Divine Masculine on the other side, mastering desires, controlled inspiration. The Divine Masculine at the helm of 5 others in the monad. Good news, attention, leading the way, bridging in 5D by the Divine Feminine rising above drama, saying, I got this, and taking flame by the hand to tango. Atlantis versus Lemuria, middle versus that 70s show. And And Indians, East Indians versus West Indians. Divine Masculine, the Divine Masculine 6 takes the Divine Feminine 7 to play crazy 8s. And actually, by the way, in the next read, 6, 7, 8 came up a lot in the online stuff, so that's funny. East Indians and West Indians, the Divine Masculine 6 takes the Divine Feminine 7 to play crazy 8s, which is the dance between them, on the Divine Feminine side, or to step down from the helm, letting Middle Easterner take over, or belly dancer, so he can be with the Divine Feminine as shaman to meet in more tropical or lush Lemurian islands with beautiful falls, perhaps in the fall. And the Divine Feminine's here was the Six of Cups inner children hug in the 3D, astral traveling in 4D to the King of Wands shaman by the stone wall and the sun at his back up before sunrise. The Divine Masculine, stranded in 3D, realizes he's not stranded at all, just never bothered to look behind him at the path leading to the shore. From the 3D white to the 4D purple, purity to royalty to 5D head honcho, or as the shaman, Big Flame, his Indian name, rising out of 3D love into the 5D lead. Gilligan's Island was the 4D bridge. Like Oz, they just had to realize they had the power to save themselves all along. Just had to stop looking to others to solve their problems or to blame. The 3-hour tour was the awakening to destabilize and shake things up, grounded at the new home, an island unto themselves. But what were the events and beliefs that got them to this cruise in the first place? Around and around we go. Where we end up, nobody knows. What do we do when spinning in circles? We gasp and we close our eyes to reorient ourselves, to not throw up, to regurgitate all we've eaten or learned. But eventually kids learn to lie down and just go with it, acclimating to the turbulence to see what needs to come up and let it. Some get nauseous and some don't. They already are used to the stormy seas from their last life. So the bridge here is the Emperor, giving false reasoning to the Queen of Cups, allowing a third to rise above, and the Emperor then gives up their false hand. The Queen of Cups pampers herself, and the Middle Eastern belly dancer rises above the drama to learn her worth at 11:11. The outgoing energy from the Divine Masculine is the Two of Wands, Chariot, and the Ace of Swords. The Twin Flames, or the choice of path. The One of Two bears to the right, with 3 white horses. Durga headed east to Lemuria, as the dolphin lays in wait just below the surface. And the train started, the horn started going off then 4 times, actually, the Emperor energy, at 11:16, which is Justice and the Tower. So again, Durga headed east to Lemuria as the dolphin lays in wait just below the surface, beneath a ball or a buoy. She longs to discover new worlds. At the Y in the road, bearing to the right, off path, meaning to go straight, but a ball or flood got in the way and turned the chariot over. The car broke down on the way or trip canceled, so they'd stay, right? So the state of emergency, and the dolphin's still waiting there for you and your truth. The Divine Feminine atop Everest, the Divine Masculine below the sea or at sea level. The road to perdition, Witness, Jehovah's Witness, and Dutch country Amish were coming up. And when I put in perdition, because that was the first thing that came up, which is about a child who witnesses a killing, right, and the whole scene around that. When I put in perdition and witness, because then witness was very similar to that from the Amish country, right, the movie Witness. One of the headings that came up was a man who shot himself and landed in hell on YouTube, and that was from 12/31/15. So literally someone, that was at 11:33, which is Justice and the 33 of the Christ vibration, the 7 of Wands again. And his story was about, and you can look that up, it literally, the title literally says, man shot himself and landed in hell. He was a drug user and couldn't take it anymore. His wife was going to leave with the child, so he made her stay and told her to come sit on the bed, and he picked up his rifle and went to shoot himself, and she went to pull it away, and so he didn't shoot his head off, he just shot most of his face off. But he was talking about how he experienced what it was, the hell he experienced right after he did to himself what he did, and then saw Jesus basically telling him, you know, if he wants to come with him, he can. Of course, he'd be forgiven. So he does accept that, and that's when he comes back. So now he talks about that because he was completely converted after he came back to life. So that was a nice, not a nice experience, but a nice message coming through. But definitely children who've witnessed something really bad. So this is a very deep wound because obviously they're silenced at a very young age and they keep it forever because they're afraid someone's going to kill them. So that's a very deep wound. But also Amish stuff was coming up. One of the first past lives I saw with my twin was in Amish country. And there was a very, very bad man. I just remember. And there's another, I had two remembrances of that. The other one was when I was doing a past life regression. They were at two different points in this very bad man's life. The other one was at the end of their life when he was completely alone in a snowy area where he just walks out into snow-covered lands with the sidewalk shoveled. But there's nothing else around except his cabin. And he walks halfway down his path and this just drops dead in the snow. So my message from that past life regression, from that life, even though he was a very, very bad man, and he was very evil, the message was that it is better to be a very, very bad man than to be alone, because there's no expansion, okay? So I guess that message was meant to come up again. The first life I'd seen of this Amish country was on an Amish farm, a trailer, and it started because my twin was following his dog at a young age, and the dog led him onto this farm. And just as the dog ran onto the farm and he was trying to catch up, the dog was taken onto the farm by the men working there. It was that very bad man was like the grandfather, but the son was there as well as the other younger children. And as soon as the dog came onto that area where there's a trailer parked, the son stomped the dog to death right away. And then the old man was just sitting on a barrel where they would dump people, you know, head first into a water barrel. And then there were two blonde girls, these beautiful two girls who walked out from the house. And there was another younger boy on the porch and another probably like a 13-year-old boy in the trailer sitting in the cab area. And then I just saw the mother come out briefly, I guess to attend to the younger boy on the porch, but then she went back in. But just awful. It was such an awful feeling because I just knew how awful the old man was, who was just sitting there doing nothing, just staring my way. But anyway, that was an Amish farm that I was getting, and I'm not far from Lancaster. So something came up online when I put in the Amish, 422, which, right, today's the 25th, 3 days ago, Amish bishop was charged with failing to report suspected sex abuse of girls. And that was Bishop Levi Esch Sr. was the bishop. Apparently they had dealt with it. This was back in 2012 and 13. The parishioner confessed to molesting the three girls back then, but he was told to apologize to the fathers of the girls and then was excommunicated from the church, but it wasn't reported to the police, so he never went to prison or anything. And so now the bishop is in trouble for not having reported it. And the Amish comes from the late 17th century. The Amish name comes from Amman, A-M-M-A-N, Jacob. A schism from an Anabaptist church of his. He was a Swiss minister, and they came to the U.S. in the 18th century. And it's not Dutch; it's just from Deutsch or German, and they speak an ancient German dialect. So, of course, you know they don't use most modern conveniences. They don't believe in resistance, so any kind of force or military, that kind of stuff, and photos because of vanity. They don't use buttons or anything like that, only hooks and snaps, that kind of thing. And they usually end their schooling at age 14. Some of them do go to regular school, but they end their schooling by 14. So just some stuff that was coming up about them. They are, by 18 to 21, they're either baptized or forced to leave the church or community. And that was at 1157. So again, some of the wounds that some children may be going through. 11 is justice, and 57 is the Three of Swords. And then the twin flame coming back to the reed in a bold move, horse and buggy to the truth. So there may definitely be some energies like that out there. People who weren't raised in the modern culture. The twin flame in a bold move, horse and buggy to the truth. And the summary card was the 10 of Cups, the family and emotional fulfillment. The 10 of Swords in the beginning to the Queen of Cups in the middle, and the 10 of Cups to the end. So 10 to the Queen to the 10. So there's definitely endings here. From the end of pain to the Queen of Cups to happy ending and or emotional fulfillment. Or that, you know, the 10 of Cups can always be that false family that looks perfect on the outside but's got issues within. So the number that came up for this read is 62, which is the 8 of Swords, the prison, which can be anxiety, fear, anything where you feel trapped and feel like you can't get out, even though you always have a choice. 62, and again, that has to do with the Amish resistance. You have a choice. So even if, like Teal Swan, if you're imprisoned by a man, you have a choice to resist him, or you have a choice to try to go with the flow and make the best of it until you have a chance to actually get out. So even in the worst of circumstances, we have a choice in how we want to live in the situation or perceive it. And there's a lot of examples like that where people are held captive. And of course, fighting it doesn't do much good. It makes more sense to get to know the person on a human level, even if you want to get out of a situation like that, I suppose. But anyway, I don't want to have any conjecture about that. But so the 62 is the prison energy that's coming up around this read. On the horizontal axis, the numbers were adding up to 33, 2, and 27, which is the Christ vibration again, standing up for self and your twin for this new passion. And then on the vertical axis, we had the Sun and the 2 of Swords, the Chariot, the Hangman, and the High Priestess. So justice in exposing all, knowing in a bold move to the Hanging Man and the High Priestess coming to justice. So truth and balance. And then that 5, 6, 7 came up again. Well, it was 6, 7, 8 in the read, but here, this part, the 5, 6, 7 came up from yesterday because we talked about the 6 and the 7 and the dimensions that we're moving up to, or that we're able to see, right? Once we're in the 5D as opposed to 3D, you can actually then see more. And talking about the this 7 human aspects. So anyway, that was from yesterday. If you want to watch that video, you can. And so the numbers were all done right at noon. And then at 12:04, I went back to look back at the cards because I compare this card to this, the first, second, and third on the feminine and masculine side. So the 9 of Pentacles to the 2 of Wands, the Strength card to the Chariot, and the 5 of Swords to the Ace of Swords. The Sovereign Twin Flame bursts through the Ring of Fire in the Chariot with 3 white horses. Durga on mission, tending toward the right, the twin flames, choosing the twin flame path over the dolphin, Atlantis versus Lemuria, atop a mount ever expanding while laying in wait beneath the surface of calm emotions simultaneously. So being calm on the top of Mount Everest, yet being calm also beneath the water, right? Both places you can't breathe because when you're at that high altitude, the oxygen's very thin, right? So it's hard to breathe at top of Everest, and it's hard to breathe when you're underneath the surface of the water. So while laying in wait beneath the surface or calm emotions simultaneously, so it's like doing them both at the same time, simulcast. The frog becoming the prince and the lady in waiting, 2 mints in one, ever rest and never rest, holding breath, and a need for the divine masculine to come up for air, the divine feminine at high altitude, lightheaded, and the divine feminine in a course of density. That coming out is what matters. Coming up for air, breathe, for emotional fulfillment. The divine feminine lay in wait, holding her breath, while the divine masculine jumps hoops to climb Mount Everest and bust through the Ring of Fire with Chariot to pick up his flame and head to dolphin-infested waters. The divine feminine is the rock he climbs, and he the fire that ignites her will to live. Strength and determination, the rise to the top where the air is thin and be calm under water at the same time. Both places hard to breathe to get enough air in. So it's so important to just breathe. So that was a really beautiful message. All right, so now we're going to get into the Divine Masculine Twin Flame read. So I'm going to pull this out. Okay, so this is the Divine Masculine read here. Put that view there for you. Okay. All right, so the SIRIAN Starseed deck, for those of you not familiar, this is a 7-deck read. The SIRIAN Starseed deck is the main deck for the read. And you see there's a lot of cards up in the back row that I ended up putting up today from the Universal Golden Tarot. For those of you who aren't familiar with it, there's a section here and a section in the middle and then another section here, which just extends from when I put it out on the table up top there. It's just more of a story that needed to be seen. So I'll get into that in a minute. The SIRIAN Starseed deck was cut and dealt at 12:21 to 22. So right that 12 energy. At 12:28, and 28 is the twin flames, I was putting out the Tarot Sexual Magic cards, and 7 and 2 came up next to each other. And again, 72 and 72 is the 144. It's also the day I met my twin. So the 7 of Wands and 2 of Pentacles were coming up there from the Tarot Sexual Magic, but then the 7 and 9 were coming up, and that's 79 is the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow for me. But both of them were flanked by the Knight of Wands and the Knight of Swords. So it's like they had protection on either side. It's like protecting the meat. And then so the period of 7-2 to 7-9 was coming up as significant. And actually June and July, so the Cancer energy was coming up as very significant for all the twins right now. So again, this is a general read, so if something doesn't resonate with you, don't force it to fit. It's for many of you. If you'd like a personal read, you're welcome to reach out to me on my website, twinflames3344.com, or all of my information is below it as well. And my email is the same at gmail.com. And I have a CD out there called Ashes, Twin Towers to Twin Flames. So that's a great way to support me if you'd like to buy a song. It's on iTunes, CD Baby, as well as Amazon and Google Play. So you can check that out, Ashes, Twin Towers to Twin Flames. Okay, so the read was completed at 12:46 to 47. This is for the Divine Masculine Twin Flames, so it also affects the masculine within the feminine. And again, it is general, so don't force it to fit if it doesn't fit. There's definitely some stuff that comes up in these reads because it is a channeled read. I put out these cards. It's a several-hour process. I mean, sometimes it takes me all day. It takes me half an hour just to put out the cards usually. And I first do the cards. I then write everything down, and then I do it for you again. So I'm channeling each time in a different way. So there are some messages that come through. So a lot of this, if it doesn't have to do with your specific relationship, it does have to do with the wounds that we're clearing or that need to come up. So maybe something from your past, or something from your family member that needs to come up, so be aware of that. So 12:46 to 47 is the Hangman, and the 46 is the 6 of Cups, 47 is the 7 of Cups, the children in the garden, and then the synchronicities or the options, the dreams come true, right? Heaven in their eyes. The major arcana for this read were Karma, which is the Judgment card in this deck, Reflection, which is the Hermit, and Justice. Before the read was Starseed, which is like the Fool. And then after the read, we also had Ascension, which is like the World. We had 3 Wands, 1 Cup, 2 Swords, and 2 Pentacles, so pretty well distributed. There's mostly Wands here today, so a lot of fire, which has been coming up a lot the past couple days. And then we also, they're not court cards, but the 9 of Cups and the 9 of Pentacles were both in the read today, which can definitely represent the masculine and the feminine. And then we had, after the read, the Knight of Wands and the Page of Wands, which can be children or messages. Before the read, the Knight of Swords came up. So there were literally no court cards in this read, just the 9 of Cups and the 9 of Pentacles, which can be the twins, or they can just reference kids as well, or just happiness or sovereignty. And then the Knight of Wands and the Page of Wands. The numbers, we had triple 8s today, double 9s and double 10s. Double 9s is all about compassion, and of course the double 8s have to do with the twins. So there's a lot of dancing to do here. And actually I'm getting from the triple 8s, because it stacks so high, it's referencing the masculine's growth to his maturity, but also Mount Everest coming up, all right? There's this very high-minded and mature energy coming up. And that's 8, 9, 10 begin again as well. We have double 2s as well, which is the Fool. The code line was all about physical activity, which again is that fire energy, getting busy, completion, and spirituality. And the number 10 was on the code line today, which is that Wheel of Fortune, the turn for the better, destiny. And the other numbers were 31, 22, which can be the 5 of Wands and the Fool again. The triple eights, like I told you, double nines, double tens. 25 is the Knight of Wands. 58 is the 4 of Swords, that meditation 5D with your twin. The 89, which is the reflection of human temperature. So for me, that's getting overheated or cold. And then the 8, 9, 10, the 22 of the Fool, and the 28 of the Twins, 57 of the 3 of Swords, and 78, which is the 10 of Pentacles. The dream family, right? It's the last card of the tarot. So the message here regarding physical activity, completion, and spirituality is the divine feminine and twin bridges were coming up here. The gateways. Can be gateway or bridge, however you want to see it, but the twin bridges, that statement was coming up from the divine feminine, the twin bridges, in a show of power in the space between to Jesus, which is code for the divine masculine, and bridging the gap between them. And I was getting the Delaware River gap, which is not far from me, in the Poconos, or going up that way anyway. So definitely was, there's an ending of pain, or a painful ending, but going through the pain in order to end it. The divine feminine twin bridges, show of power in the space between them. Also, Sophia and the divine feminine were coming up as the I, right? The lowercase I is the chakra system, and the gods, that's your God self, bridges to the 4, sitting on the 4, like 2 chairs stacked, which is the 8, because H is 8. And it was coming up like, just a reference like a lap dance, because they fit perfectly together as the show of power to the divine masculine in the coming together to bridge the gap. Some of the stuff that came up online, like I told you, 7, 8, 9, there was 1, 2, 3, 4 entries that came up with 7, 8, 9, and none of those complete numbers were in the code line to begin with. So the fact that they came up so much was pretty cool, because that came up in the union read, which had nothing to do with this. So 7, 8, 9 is the 5D, right? 1, 2, 3, we went over this yesterday. 1, 2, 3 is the 3D, 4, 5, 6 is the 4D, 7, 8, 9 is the 5D, and then so on and so on. So today, 5D is coming up, 7, 8, 9, a lot. So some of the things that came up were 538, which is a website. They use stats to tell stories. Mystic Messenger, 707, Root Walkthrough -VG247.com. 78 Tattoo came up, as well as 789 ExplainTheJoke.com. This one was from docscipy.org, docs.scipy.org, and it was Mumpy, MUMPY -LINALG dot EIGH dot VUM capital P lowercase y V 1.9, I don't know if that's volume or not, manual, but it looked like some kind of mathematical site. Definitely eigenvalues and vectors were coming up, or Hermitian, or in other words, symmetric matrix was coming up in reference to that. So that stuff is above my head, but if you're a math person, that may make sense. You might want to go to that website. 789 YouTube came up, as well as SEN 789 on Steam, as well as, again, SEN 789 for Nintendo Switch came up. And then PDF for 3 perspectives on addiction, because when I added the 10 of Swords, this addiction site came up. So it's saying, do you really want the 10 of Swords in your code line? Because I wasn't sure if I was meant to use it or not today. And so they were answering that question. Do you really want the 10 of Swords in your life? No, because it has to do with having to end pain. So again, that's saying, putting it in here as perspectives on addiction from researchgate.net. So that was an article from the 1990s if you want to check that out. So it's about not choosing pain, right? Because a lot of us are addicted to pain. All addictions have to do with pain and fear. All right. So going back to the code line and physical activities, completion, and spirituality. The twin bridges, there's also another version of this where there may be someone, this is for the masculine, so there may be someone in the masculine who's gay, whether it's him or a partner, and there's a show of power in closing the gap or the space between with the divine masculine. And this could even be siblings. It doesn't necessarily have to be someone in his life or in his relationship life. It could be anyone around them, but it could be his partner as well. So it's not specifying. It could definitely be a karmic feminine, but it can be a masculine as well. So the divine feminine twin bridges of the divine masculine with I, the lowercase I, the chakra system, and the masculine with the karmic as well, and bridging the gap between the three, right? Because the masculine's sitting on the Y in the road between the karmic energies and the divine feminine. So it's coming up for him to bridge the gap, and the divine feminine is key in that. So showing of power with the twin bridges, a show of power in bridging the gap with the divine masculine. The divine feminine, the twin flames. We start out with the twin flame card because we have the Two of Wands here, but the Two of Wands is reversed. The cards below this card in the underlying energy are the Knight of Swords reversed, the Starseed reversed, which again is like the Fool, Seven of Cups reversed, and then the Eight of Cups upright. So no options, or perhaps someone did choose their path, but they can't implement it now because of the state of emergency. After holding their tongue, lacking faith, falling on their face, from grace and walking away from their twin, running away from the Page of Pentacles and the Nine of Pentacles, which can be kids or dependents, or walking away from more dependents, right? If someone else has kids, maybe you don't want to take on that responsibility, but it's just showing that energy, running away from responsibilities, or kids or twins got cheated or stolen from, as the Wounded Warrior is reversed in surrender, the King of Wands reversed, or ran from those in need of help, money, or opportunity, and or financial drains, with surrendering of the King of Wands reversed weighing on their head. So whether the masculine is the King of Wands or that's someone around him who perhaps took from these other energies. It could be someone not working, the Queen of Wands, perhaps without options, and a dark past, completes a cycle and chose a new path out in the world or to travel, but now is unable to implement. Or sealed divine feminine is protected by thoth, a message of love, and grieving the King of Cups reversed, emotionally detached or over emotional, manipulative, and or could be a drinker. So this is the King of Cups reversed. There also could be father and child. So the King of Cups reversed could be the divine masculine's father, and he's coming up as the Page of Cups. But the Queen of Wands is upright here, and the King of Wands is reversed. So that could definitely reference the masculine and his partner, or it could represent the masculine and a sister, a masculine and a friend, whoever is very close to him. But there's definitely an insinuation to kids here, and how somehow them getting cheated. And it can have to do with losing money too, where now they get cheated out of an education because they lost money in the market, and someone was just about to go to college. It's that kind of energy. Or literally the King of Wands is the brother of the Queen of Wands and literally stole money from their accounts, perhaps. Maybe he was holding it for the Queen of Wands. There could be hiding money too in college accounts, where then the person who's hiding it in their accounts takes it out, or a sibling gets a hold of it and takes it out. So it could be all sorts of situations like that. But someone's getting cheated out of something. And it looks like young energy, so whether it's kids losing money because of the market, or those kids can represent the masculine and feminine energies, or the masculine and his karmic energies, their inner children as well, acting like children. So all of those situations were coming up. But again, the Queen of Wands without options, so she could be the one without options, as opposed to the divine masculine. Like maybe she wasn't working and needs to work now, or was working but can't work now. But this is someone coming up with a dark past, completes a cycle, and chose a new path out in the world to travel, but now unable to implement. Or the sealed divine feminine is protected by thoth, a message of love. And it's coming up as the masculine is the Y in the road between the sealed divine feminine and the Queen of Wands energy, who's actually looking away from the situation, which is how she usually comes up, looking away, like pretending like she doesn't know what's going on. So grieving the King of Cups reversed. And so the Page of Cups could be an offer of love or a message of love from the Divine Feminine to the Masculine, and the Masculine ignoring that, or feeling bad or grieving that he ignored the message. Or this could literally be, he is the Page of Cups and he's grieving issues with his father, or another King of Cups reversed who may be closely related to him. Or the King of Cups is the Queen of Wands' father, and she's like daddy's girl, and that's why she's the Page of Cups, right? Because she can do no wrong, and perhaps the Divine Masculine works or deals with her father in business, or just he interferes in their relationship. So how can someone compete with the father when the father always thinks his daughter can do no wrong? It's kind of like that energy. So the King of Cups reversed could be emotionally detached or over-emotional, manipulative and or a drinker, or the Divine Masculine is overworking, not working, or standing at the Y in the road between the Queen of Wands and the Divine Feminine, or the world that is not working, with a message of love, a loving child, or puppy love, or grieving the King of Cups reversed, or the King of Cups is grieving the love that had been offered to him, standing in a desolate place, or now nothing to offer the Page of Cups, and feels very sad about it, or grieving his child or inner child, unable to see the good right behind him, standing at the Y in the road. Perhaps a child who has to cover up at the beach, or an overprotective parents not allowing them to breathe. Perhaps the Page of Cups is the Queen of Wands, daddy's girl, and the Divine Masculine could never live up to that. The King of Cups reversed versus the King of Wands reversed, or a feud between them, stole from the kids' lives, or stole their college fund or inheritance. The Knight of Wands reversed player falling short of expectations in the aftermath of sudden events, a devil, which can just be addictions or codependencies, or a Capricorn, saying hasta la vista to Hermit reversed and or Virgo. Scorpio reversed and Sagittarius reversed here too, or got caught lying under oath, or swearing he's learned his lesson, or feeling bad he can no longer take care of an ailing parent, and seen as the devil in committing them to a medical facility and or old age home, or a Capricorn saying goodbye to a group of a Sagittarius, Scorpio, and Virgo all reversed. And that's at 144 to 45, which is the Magician, the Four of Cups, grounding and integrating that offer of love, and then 45, which is the grieving, the needing to let go of the past and get off the Y in the road. So the faulty foundation, perhaps with sexual imprisonment and feeling like they're losing their mind, or an older person who is losing their mind. They could be getting Alzheimer's or something like that. So honeymoon comes up here, but below that is finances and career. So after dealing with finances and career, there could be a need to take a break in the underlying energy, but maybe that never happened because of the current situations. So after making the effort to trust and have faith, three-way lovers, or a man with two lovers, and that can represent a masculine with two children as well, and they're depicted as two females, but it doesn't have to be. So it could be a three-way love situation, but also can be the masculine focusing on his kids. So it's coming up though as a sex pot and another world with Thoth and Jesus. So that can reference the karmic partner and the divine feminine partner, and then another belief system, and then the divine masculine with a secret fantasy life, a wife and a lover that no one can prove, or using his kids in place of a lover, unstable family or home, or the hermit going crazy, reversed, coming out, or a need of lighting flame, consulting a matchmaker perhaps. So there's another wound about matchmakers in the past where you didn't have a choice about who you got to marry. Who can he allow in the circle of trust, with two flames planted firmly in the ground, watching his every move? Food in his sex life, or perhaps partner is fruity, or Fruit Loops. Only circle of trust engraved in the glass ceiling. But would she accept him just as he is, wanting to come out about his flame or flamey side? Perhaps him or his wife or partner are gay or bisexual, and marriage is a cover for them, or one is and the other doesn't know about it. And that's just for some. That's not going to be for most of you. So forgiveness comes up, which is 96, and beneath that is surrender, which is 91. Full exposure, or exposure to rings of fire or planetary alignments, Jupiter in Gemini and Saturn Aquarius, and many other layers when the sun is covered or eclipsed. The King of Pentacles reversed, ungrounded or losing money and or status, with new passion coming up, as the Knight of Cups to offer and be love to the Queen of Cups, but they're trapped, unable to see a way out, dissatisfied, but seeing the need to be satisfied with current moment in order to get what you want, to allow the universe to unfold the changes. So close he can taste it, with the King of Cups reversed, blocking, perhaps with alcohol issues and trapped in a box or a fishbowl. Fancy curtains or dresses would get caught in the spokes of his bike anyway. Perhaps he's unable to drive, or addicted to foosball, or he's a gambling fool, or a wife with addiction to expensive things. Or the King of Pentacles reversed is in his way. Unhappy, not getting their wish, without options at this time, the King of Cups reversed and the Hermit reversed, and another Hermit reversed, doing something about it. The King of Cups is unhappy and out of options to stop the Hermit and the Hermit reversed from coming out, and forgive and or surrender. So this is where twin bridges the gap come up here. So the twin bridges, the two Hermits were coming up as the twins. So the Knight of Cups in the underlying energy is upright with the Queen of Cups, and that can very much be twin energy, which he doesn't see a way out of. And then he's dealing with this King of Cups energy reversed, which, like I said, could be the father of his partner, it could be his own father, or it can represent him as well. Okay, so there's lots of different situations. It could also represent people in the twins' life as well, if you guys are enfolded in some way. So the recent past is the Eight of Wands reversed, holding back feelings. Now the Knight of Cups was upright in this one spot in the underlying energy, but the Knight of Cups is not upright in the rest of the read. And the King of Cups is reversed as well. The Page of Cups is upright though. So Eight of Wands is reversed in the recent past, holding back feelings. The Queen of Wands with happy family, or the sham fam, the so-called happy family, or ending. Could be a happy ending too, where they've worked out both sides happily. But holding on to save and rest. The Queen of Cups is reversed, looking back or going back to instability, or in a move or end of family or visits. There's some kind of instability here. That can be an end of a party as well. So the Empress is not working, stubborn, or refusing to move, or is resistant at 213, which is the High Priestess and the Transformation or Death card, knowing the truth but keeping to themselves or pretending not to know. So that's coming up as the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands is with the Ten of Cups upright, pretending not to know. The Queen of Cups is reversed underneath the Empress. So she could be an older child of an Empress. An Empress could be a grandparent as well. But the Empress is coming up, I think she's upright. Yeah, she's upright, but the Knight of Pentacles is reversed. So that could be a separate person. So there could be children staying with this Empress upright. So there could be children. That Queen of Cups could be a child that's reversed, or it could be a sister, a friend. Anyone who's dealing between the Empress upright and the Queen of Wands upright. But she's also next to the Four of Wands, so she could represent the Divine Feminine that the masculine's clinging to, connecting with in 5D. Okay, so she may be looking back or going back to the instability, or looking back at the instability of the situation. But the Queen of Cups is reversed, so she's either just sad, dealing with the situation, or she can be manipulative as well. And there's a Knight of Pentacles reversed too, which can also be a manipulative energy because they're refusing not to move. They're being stubborn. So that, again, like I said, that could be children involved as well. So there's a move or end of family or visits, or the Empress is not working, stubborn, refusing to move, or resistant, knowing the truth. The Empress may know the truth, but it's the Queen of... the Empress looks like the one who's being stubborn and refusing to move, but it's the Queen of Wands who's in there knowing and pretending not to know. Actually, they could both be pretending not to know. If they're mother and daughter, or, or mother-in-law and daughter, that kind of thing. So 213 is the High Priestess and the Death card. Pretending like the family unit is perfect. The Foundation is the Nine of Pentacles reversed. The Sovereign upside down. So that can be a sovereign person losing their singlehood, but I don't know if that's the case right here, because it feels like they're powerless without option. So the Nine of Pentacles reversed, feeling powerless, loss of money, power, and or independence, or financial drains or dependence. The Sovereign reverse can be one of your kids because they're draining your finances. Justice, divorce, Libra, presenting the truth to the Queen of Swords reversed, standing up for themselves to the Knight of Swords reversed and the Knight of Pentacles reversed, in deliberations or defending kids or protecting them from the truth, or now having to eat crow, the kids, or holding back an announcement or negative ones about the Queen of Swords reversed, who could be grieving, lying, or verbally sharp and or downright abusive, or the Nine of Pentacles reversed is dependent, powerless, to family that's fighting, or the truth to the Queen of Swords reversed about why their kids are the way they are. Because it's coming up like one of the kids, at least, they're both reversed. If these are kids, they're coming up as the Knight of Swords reversed and the Knight of Pentacles reversed. And the Knight of Swords would then just be like the Queen of Swords reversed. They would be the one very much like their mother. So it's like the Divine Masculine or the Justice, the Libra, whatever energy it is coming with the full truth to the Queen of Swords reversed, who could be very much like one of their kids who are acting up. And this could be someone coming at them and saying, this is why your kids are the way they are, because they're like you. Or it can be, the knights don't have to be kids either. They can be adults who are younger or just adults who are acting up, because they're both reversed, and so is the Queen of Swords reversed. And it's like holding back an announcement or not being judged. Or someone, like I said, these kids or these people might have had to eat crow for what they said. So the central energy is the Nine of Cups upright, finding happiness with self, giving yourself your wish instead of depending on others to give it to you for the masculine, and the Page of Wands inspired to dreams and destined to the Magician and the High Priestess on the journey. So this was very beautiful coming up. It's right here. There's the Page of Swords, the Page of Wands. All right, the Star card, which is about the dreams, inspired to the dreams, and this is destiny upright, the Wheel of Fortune, and then you have the Magician and the High Priestess side by side on the journey. This was very clear, and that's the center energy on top of the Nine of Cups upright. Really beautiful. So the central energy of getting their wish, finding happiness with self by giving self-wish. The Page of Wands inspired to dreams destined to the Magician and the High Priestess on the journey. But the Knight of Cups is reversed there, so it may just be some sadness, or a child with sadness or being manipulative or whiny, whatever it is, or just feeling rejected or jealous or insincere in some way, still having that wound of not being able to give or receive love. There may be a little of that there, and it could be just a child who's dealing with that as well, in need of being love or needing to learn how to be love, or like I said, jealousy or insincerity could come up here. The challenge being ending pain and or a painful ending, as or the Devil and or Capricorn, which can just come up as codependencies and addictions, or this Capricorn person is looking back or going back to surrendering, at war with self and now released, grieving the King of Pentacles reversed with a message of love, or Page of Cups child, that could be a Pisces, and the Six of Cups kids and or twins loving each other. So the Six of Cups is upright, where the two kids are being very loving to each other. The Knight of Wands is reversed. In this deck, it's good because that's the Tarot Sexual Magic, because upright, it's rescuing someone, where here, the Knight of Wands is rescuing themselves. The Seven of Wands upright by standing up for themselves and releasing themselves from manipulations, which is no surprise, as the King of Pentacles reversed is grieving a loss, and it looks like a financial loss, and then breaking patterns about that. The Chariot here is here in a bold move to a message of love, to get their wish by holding their tongue, but impatient to divorce or get justice, or Libra standing up for self at work, or to co-create in a balanced way. Now, in the crowning position is the Ten of Wands reversed, dropping the burdens. That can be responsibilities as well. No longer carrying the weight of the world or doing hard labor physically, or confessing, exposing all, knowing of his half of. It's like coming out where there's the whole truth, but he can only disclose his half of the truth, with a Taurus or the Hierophant, marriage or contract energies, holding up his end of the bargain. Sovereign Wounded Warrior, Star, or Unhappy Aquarius, Taurus and or Leo, or kids exposing burdens as the Wounded Warrior is sovereign and Hierophant or Taurus wants to be single in order to go for their dreams or be a star. Dumping everything and leaving in a bold move, or leaving career behind or Cancer behind, or Leo confessing to Taurus and Cancer, or Leo telling their half, but Taurus is keeping to themselves, but they know. They may be pretending not to. The Knight of Wands reversed, Sagittarius or Leo, and the Knight of Cups reversed, perhaps Cancer or Pisces, two in a very strong bond of love, and the King of Swords needing courage, or to deal with that Leo or ego that's in the way, and needing to stand up to them. No more putting up with drinking and or depression issues, imbalances, and boredom because you're not working, or inequity of the bulls needing to split, part ways, and grieve negative self-talk in order to get their wish, or in other words, break their patterns. 242 is the High Priestess and the Two of Cups. And that part was just with the Two of Cups, loving relationship coming together. And how to break the old patterns, let go of saying that it's okay for you to sacrifice your life for someone else, because if you're not happy, it's not your, if you love that person, you don't want to leave, then that's fine. But if you're staying because society tells you you have to stay in that committed relationship, that's not correct. Your first loyalty should be to your self-happiness. That's what you're here for. So if someone wants to stay in addictions and ruin their life, it's not okay for them to do that to everyone else's life, but they can't do it to you. Only you can do it to you. So you can allow them to do it to you, or you cannot, and you can be brave and stand up for yourself and want a better life. So surrender or grieving rumors, spying, lies, or kids lying and tripping up in front of the Emperor reversed, or getting sucked into his abusive control again, the happy family, so-called happy family, or stepping down, or lashing out at home and getting kicked out, destined to new love, or self-love, spiritual love, holding tongue but not patient, justice in new love, self-love, and standing up for themselves at work. Soon is karma reversed, judgments held back. The King of Cups reversed made a foolish move by holding back his feelings and or energetic exchange, which now are causing delays. Hurt and left behind, in exile, destiny, injury, or illness, while the Divine Feminine is happy with themselves, but ungrounded or losing money and frustrated. Or the Queen of Pentacles reversed is not the Divine Feminine, and she's frustrated or losing money. Healing with or over the Empress, or Empress is healing. Or where the Divine Feminine was once the Queen of Pentacles reversed, frustrated and losing money, is now healing as the Empress. The Page of Pentacles reversed could also be holding back an announcement, or choking on their words, or choked up, or out in the cold as the Three of Swords, healing and forgiving, dumping emotional attachments, grieving the devil, codependencies, and or Capricorn from the past. Okay. So the Divine Masculine sees himself as the Hermit reversed, where the worst is over, finding peace. And this can also be just a Virgo in his energy. But it's about coming out, where the worst is over, finding peace, away from imbalances, debt, scams, and inequities, like not having to live with that. Hanging out for new perspectives, and the Ten of Pentacles offering a new life. So that could be a family or extended family, another business could be offering an opportunity. But it's hanging out for new perspectives with this Ten of Pentacles energy, offering a new life or help to the Two of Cups connection. Playfulness, passion, and free yourself come up for the masculine here. Free yourself, don't fence me in, that energy. Around him or how he is seen is the Eight of Swords reversed. In the release, whether it's prison, anxiety, fears, release from anything you felt stuck in, as new love comes in out of ending conflict and suffering and silence. At night, still may be feelings of jealousy and impatience, or Cancer offers love, and the Knight of Cups is reversed in a losing battle. So maybe jealousy is a losing battle for him. That could be someone's addiction. Fallen angel, impatient and suffering in silence, all in a release from anxiety, fears, and prison. The masculine needs to clear his blocks around the Five of Pentacles, being in exile, perhaps the Mary Magdalene cave, in the dark, above but apart from the group. Physical activities, completion, and spirituality came up, and perhaps a female drinker, a fallen angel, or is impatient to be released from energetic prison, or angry because the divine masculine has released himself from that prison. And that could be a child as well. Justice rings in coming together to dump emotional attachments and implement a new plan. New love with justice standing up at work in release or work release program. The Knight of Wands reversed and Page of Wands upright are without options at work, destined to new love, self-love, or spiritual love, dumping burdens in a divorce, as the Knight of Wands reversed and the Page of Wands upright with their mask on. Their world is complete, or cycles at least done, or Pisces is breaking patterns, or tripped up again, or Libra and the Knight of Wands reversed and the Page of Wands upright complete the cycle. They could be children for sure. There may be problems between parents and children. Some parents may not be talking to their kids, and some kids may not be talking to their parents. It doesn't have to be all of them, but there could be also sorts of variations there in this read. But they complete the cycle and drop the facade. So it could be a masculine with his kids dropping the facade in order to come together with lovers. No options, powerless, hermit reversed and released from prison or anxieties, holding back feelings in order to get their wish, challenged by a painful ending in deliberations, and in exile, dumping burdens, confessing for divorce or to Libra or judge, falling short but inspired by the world at 303, Empress and Empress, to drop the act and be with lover at 304, which is the Empress and the Emperor. No options, holding back and unhappy, powerless or dependent on getting happy in every moment in order to get your wish, right? You have to be happy with what you have in order to move to the next level. You have to accept. The challenge being pain and dropping responsibilities, confessing and the hermit reversed, deliberating and released from exile with justice ringing, or a divorce, or Libra holding back desires and inspired to remove the mask now that the cycle is completed, and perhaps will reveal to lover, but the mask is still on the page and the Knight of Wands is reversed. So that could be the energy of the masculine, but it could also be kids. If the masculine's the Justice card, then they're upright. So the cards up top there, it's very much the energy of the the Page of Wands still has their mask on, is upright, because in the SIRIAN STARSEED deck, he's a masked boy with a flame, a burning desire. But it's inspired, but there's still a mask on. And then we have the Hangman, but it's in this read, it's upright, so it's actually where you're hanging out there. So it's this inspired energy hanging out, and this is the Six of Cups. It can be the twins or the children. And then this is the High Priestess, but this also can be the Viking princess or priestess. So it could be another energy other than the Divine Feminine. But this energy definitely can be the Divine Feminine, hanging out with the twin energy and offering this new life to the journey, right, which involves the twin, and then coming upon this Knight of Swords here, which can be coming towards them from the masculine's energy or group. There could be two children. We have a Page of Pentacles and then the Nine of Pentacles here, which can represent two kids. And then the Emperor, who's reversed in the read, and Three of Cups, which is a negative group that they're associated with, okay? That can also reference the social distancing reverse, but also the third party of the feminine that they're connected to. But the Emperor doesn't have to be the masculine. It can be a father or grandfather, you know, so this can be a couple different meanings. But then we have over here, Justice is upright, which also can be Libra, but the Hermit's reversed. So there could be a Taurus, not Justice, I'm sorry, it's the Hierophant. So this could be a Taurus upright and a Virgo reversed as the Lovers, and the Lovers card's upright. So it can just be affection. These two aren't getting along, or they can be the same person, which is the Lover. So it could also be the masculine and his partner just, you know, being civil with each other because of the kids. There's definitely a big kid thing coming up in this read. And if there's no kids, it's just about being civil to each other, or perhaps still living with each other and being nice to each other instead of being mean to each other, or still in relationship with each other. But there's still difficulties here. All right, so I'm just going to pull a quick oracle card or so and let you go. Oh, I'm going to pull from the Kipper deck. I haven't pulled one in a bit. Let's see what the Kipper deck has to say for the Divine Masculine here. What is our takeaway from this read for the Divine Masculine? What are the wounds that we still need to clear? What is the energy here for the Divine Masculine? Okay, the wealthy man's coming up in the house. And so masculine could be dealing with house issues. And then there's expectations here. So whether that's their partner or the Divine Feminine waiting, this is the 28 of the Twin Flames, so it could be the Divine Feminine. But there could be home issues, or there could be a home, like in a relationship, that's coming between them because there's a lot of issues with the house. It could be White House issues, people fighting over politics at home. And this could be, again, this could be, you can't fight, right, the father of the daughter, right? So that's that situation, right, where this is daddy's girl. So how can he deal with that when you know, she can always run back to her father? So anyway, that's that kind of relationship. Or that the house belongs to them, or vice versa. The house is 20, which is judgment. So maybe judgment for one or the other. The bottom of the deck is the coffin. And we have, let's see. So that's masculine energy and despair, but it can be feminine as well. After going on path, we have a mature woman here, going on path, masculine energy and despair, which is also the journey, the 32, and then an empty house. So this could be a separation where the masculine left his house and or family if you have kids, or they left and they're alone now, but there's some kind of death, all right? So whether it's a death of a parent, or death of the relationship, or death of work, there's some kind of ending there for sure. All right, so from the energy deck, what more do we need to know? I was just getting case closed. The Justice card is upright in the read several times, so whatever, if there is any official stuff, it has been settled supposedly in a fair way. Not everyone may feel that way, but it looks like it was fair. But the Taurus energy is upright and the Virgo energy is reversed. So if there's one or the other, then the Taurus is more in the positive energy or the winning energy. You have the 6th chakra archangel Metatron, which is 40. The Page of Cups was definitely upright and beautiful and loving today. And this is like, well, like I said in my imagery of the masculine growing up with my little girl inside, this is like that energy of the Page of Cups and the Page of Cups all grown up. All right, the 6th chakra is the 3rd eye, Archangel Metatron. Well, that's really beautiful. So that's confirming that. Page of Cups, his innocent self, and then growing up. 3 more cards want to be seen, but I'm going to show you the bottom first. We have 46, which is also the 6 of Cups, the children in the garden, right? Becoming the inner child to explore what you really are interested in. What are you curious about? The thinking man. So the masculine could be seeing something new as far as career, what he wants to do, what does he want to play with. We have the 31 of expansion. What is your door to value? Do you value money? Do you value, red and safety and security? What is it that you actually value? So, because you're going to expand in that. And then we have anxiety about it. 18, which is the moon. We just had the new moon coming up, which may have caused anxiety because the pressure to start something new. There's a lot of root chakra and yellow energy here. And then we have the storm warning. All right, so there's definitely a storm coming up. Number 10 is the Wheel of Fortune. All right, so that's whatever this is supposed to happen. A fight and the moon, so that definitely can be building up to the full moon now. But whatever happens is meant to happen, so know that. All right, so stay in the eye, stay in the vortex, right? Stay calm in the eye of the storm. Just know what you value before you get there. So it's giving you a warning to make sure everything's in order, right? That all the things are closed, all the doors are closed when the storm hits, so everything doesn't blow away, and that everyone's at home who's supposed to be at home, so that you know everything's okay when the storm hits, and you know you can stay calm. that everything's going to be okay. Okay? So that first card out, don't forget, is this for the masculine. All right? All grown up. So this can be for the divine feminine, because my little girl was fine, but she was just tired. So it's about making sure you get a strong foundation set up before the storm hits so that you won't get triggered, because if you're tired, you're going to get triggered. Okay? Because as the masculine is figuring out what he loves to do. And then we have, let's see, I haven't picked a Metatron card in a while. Let me give you one of those. All right, so the Metatron, what is your advice? Metatron. What is our advice, Metatron? Take a deep breath, guys. Ancestors, appreciation and healing. So show your gratitude for those who have come before you, because you wouldn't be here without them. 34 is the Eight of Wands, back and forth. That passion, the expression of feelings back and forth, as well as energetic exchange. Remember, all of their energies are combined within you. You're not separate, you're all one. And this is cool, because this card's coming up right next to it. It's all the same colors. Endings, and I was just talking about being at the end of the jetties. It's like being at the end of the dock, you know? Endings, like someone might feel like they want to die, but think about all those who have gone before you who you represent, because their DNA is in you. So you're not just representing yourself, you're representing the culmination of everything that's come before you. You are held. 45 is that Five of Cups, so it could be grieving someone who maybe lost a family member, and just thinking about the past and your ancestors, and showing appreciation for them. Perhaps you need to express your feelings, because you're not one who usually expresses your feelings. The underlying energy is the inner child here in Nomi, which I just told you I was talking to my inner child. This is exactly what it's like. 36 is the Ten of Wands. Okay, so the inner child has burdens, so you need to talk to your inner child to unburden yourself here in Nomi. Because when you don't even realize, when you're stressed out all the time, what your inner child actually needs. What is your inner child asking from you? It's very simple most of the time. Sometimes they just want attention. They just want you to feel into your body and focus on your body, because your body needs healing. And your focus on your body heals. So these cards want to come out too. Leadership, answer the call, which is number 8, doing the dance between your masculine and feminine. Answer the call. And this is the flame, taking the flame and climbing the stairs. And the 8 is having strength. And then the baby's there again. The evolution of birthing the new. 40 again. The Page of Cups. Okay, really beautiful energies here. We had this one too. The underlying energy here. All right, so the baby and the baby. The baby, not only here in a uterus, your inner self, and it can be actual baby too, but here's the baby in your heart, right? Birthing the new you. After the swords are all out, it's a clear space again, and now it's healed. We've given Earth, just paralleling this situation, has allowed Earth to heal. All the swords taken out in order to birth a brand new you. And so Gaia can birth a brand new them as well. It's like willing to do the work, willing to climb the steps to get to the new you. All right? That you've done a lot of work to get to this place, and so have all your ancestors, right, from before you. So before you jump the plank, think about that and talk to yourself a bit, and then take the steps that you're guided to take. Okay? So one more, I'll give you a crystal angel card too. Definitely a letting go of burdens in this read. We don't always have the Ten of Wands reversed, so it's good when it is. Letting go of that burden, that physical cycle. What is the last bit of advice for this read? What do they need to know? What is the takeaway from the Union read and the Divine Masculine read for the Divine Masculine and the Divine Feminines? I have turquoise, spiritual path. Your true beliefs are becoming clearer to you, which prompts you to make necessary life changes. Okay, that's beautiful. And we have aquamarine, divine life purpose. Trust the signs and your inner guidance, which are leading you to fulfillment, which we were just talking about. Talk to your inner child, as well as your guides. And these both have to do with spiritual path and divine life purpose. And I was just asking for both, the masculine and feminine, turquoise and aquamarine. So all of those beautiful blues to blue-green. So get out your turquoise and aquamarine. Beautiful. The underlying energy, we have Moonstone wants to come out too. That's a different energy. Heightened intuition. Be extra aware of your inner knowingness. It is trustworthy. Okay, Moonstone. So that's a more grounded energy. And I love these three colors. This is like my favorite colors, right? The aqua to the like French blues. All right, the bottom of this deck is amethyst, revealing your true self. As you allow others to know the real you, you'll feel love for who you truly are. So be authentic to yourself and know your path. It's all about spiritual path, divine life purpose, heightened intuition. It's all about like meditation and guidance. So you may be called to do some meditation, but just really connect with your body and your inner self. Right? Your body is telling you what to do. So go into an inner child, or if you have a pain or ache in your body, meditate on that spot. It just really wants your attention. It will either heal it just by focusing on it, or it will tell you what to do. It may not come up right away. It might come up later, but you have to trust your intuition. It will bring up the answers for you. All right, I have to show you the cards from the read. Okay, so we have the Two of Flames in the underlying energy with the other cards underneath. We have the Eight of Flames in the recent past. There is the Nine of Crystals. We have the center energy of the Nine of Cups, challenged by the Ten of Swords, which came up in the Union read as well. The other underlying energies there, you see the Queen and the Knight of Cups together. He's coming behind her. She doesn't see him coming. And the Ace of Wands there. And then we have the Ten of Wands, or Flames, reversed there, going across the 40 bridge to the Karma energy, which is reversed here in this read. We have the masculine seeing himself as the reflection, reversed. That's the Hermit. And around him is the Ace of Swords, or Orbs, reversed. The blocks that he needs to clear is the Five of Crystals, or Pentacles. And see all the purple, it's all third eye, all right? You are being guided to meditate. The underlying energy is the throat chakra and the sacral chakra, so speak from your creativity, but now you're being guided back to meditation again. Okay, so we did have a break from that, but they want you to go back. All right, so then we have the Justice card at the end upright with the Knight of Wands reversed, the Page of Wands upright, which has a mask on and a flame, and then the World, which is upright, that's Ascension, and then the Two of Pentacles, which is reversed in this deck. So it's about letting go of the two options. So either having decided, looks like decided with the Lovers upright there, okay, and then the story up here, we have these cards here, and then this section was here, which looks more like the masculine energy, but it depends on your situation. And then these two here, but the Virgo is reversed there, the Hermit. Okay? So make sure you drink your water, get your rest, get your joy, get your nature, and be good to yourselves, guys. Rise and be loved.